Hello, people. In this last week in the class, today I'll be discussing my topic for my final research paper on the Creole Case. But before I start that, let me talk a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Nashville, Tennessee, on November 6, 1991. I live here all my life. I'm still living here right now. A little bit of my educational background. I received my AA in history degree from Nashville State Community College in 2014. I got my BA in history from Tennessee State University in 2016. I received my MA degree in history from Southern New Hampshire University in 2019. And currently, right now, I'm in the PhD program in history. Um, Basically, I decided to do my topic on Creole Case. Know a little bit about the Creole Case. This is a topic that a lot of people don't know about. It's very obscure. To discuss a little about it, the Creole Case was the result of an American slave revolt in November 1841 on the ship the Creole, which was involved in the United States coastwise slave trade. The coastwise slave trade was going on at that time in the United States, with slaves mostly from places like Virginia would take slaves to New Orleans, Louisiana, where the cotton industry was really booming. So, also during this time, slave trade was abolished, was banned for the United States in 1808. So many slaves could no longer get slaves from Africa legally, so they had to take a lot of slaves from here, especially like I say, Virginia, to New Orleans, Louisiana. Some people call it the second transatlantic slave trade, so that's something to know about. But it was an American slave revolt, and in the result of the slave revolt, 128 enslaved people wanted freedom in the Bahamas. Because of the number of people eventually freed, the Creole slave revolt became the most successful slave revolt in United States history. The main thing that got me interested in this project was the topic itself. I'm doing research on. I've been knowing this topic, the Creole Case, for a couple of years, and I actually wrote about it on this website called BlackPast.org. It's a website that about African American history, and I'm an independent historian contributor on there. So I really been knowledgeable about the topic for the last couple of years, but decided to do a research paper for this course. My focus on my topic was not only focused on the Creole Case, but the outcome of the slave revolt. Even though the outcome of the slave revolt was a success, and a lot of the slaves got their freedom in the Bahamas, where it was a British territory as a result of slavery was abolished in a lot of the British colonies, especially like Jamaica, Bahamas in 1834. But my main focus really, though, what happened to Creole, though, it caused increased tension between the United States and Great Britain, because many southern slaves was outraged at losing their slaves for the see as property. Even people like President John Taylor, who was a slave owner himself, agreed that the slaves should be returned back to the United States as they were legal property. You have the Secretary of State Daniel Webster was, even though he was an abolitionist, but also supported the return of the slaves. So it started a conflict, dispute between the United States that increased the tensions because other prior slave ships that went to Bahamas, other places like the Enterprise. There's another one that happened a year before. I can't say the name. That slaves got their freedom and that was not returned back. So that increased the tension between the United States and Great Britain, where some even question was led to a third war between the two. Um, Despite the one issue that attempted to resolve these issues was the Webster and Ashburton Treaty, which also wanted to resolve some territory issue between the United States, especially one with the Agsoak War, which was a non-dividing dispute between the two nations on the Maine and New Bushwick border. But the outcome of the Ashburton and Webster Treaty, basically the main evidence that I found was that I used was using primary and secondary sources, especially books, articles about what happened. And the main thing was using the Daniel Webster papers. I just returned primary sources on Daniel Webster papers between um, Daniel Webster and Lawrence Ashburn and how they was able to settle it. Fortunately, I think in August of 1842, they ever came to agreement to settle the border disputes between the two nations. The result, the main conclusion in my research, the outcome is that it was able to establish a border between Lake Superior and the Lake of the Woods. It's also called end of the slave trade. Also, on high seas, also it agreed that the two parties would share use of the Great Lakes. Despite the outcome of the Webster-Asbury Treaty, um, it didn't really resolve all the issues with the Creole case, which a settlement would be reached in 1855 among slave owners. I think the main first study of this topic is the Creole case for many historians and people to just really analyze how impactful the slavery revolt really was. Because usually when we talk about slavery revolts, we talk about Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, or Armistead. But it's a real interesting topic that a lot of people do not know about the Creole case. So this is another topic that a lot of people need to discuss. And this was basically what my topic was, based on the Creole case and how it increased tension between Great Britain and the United States and how the Ashford Webster theory ended. And that's pretty much my video, and I hope you have a better understanding and have a good day.